Hello everyone, today we will talk about 5 different methods of protein estimation which are very commonly used in different laboratories in order to quantify proteins in solution, and also we'll discuss about preparation of a standard curve which is used for colorimetric estimation of compounds. So these 5 methods are, the first method is UV absorption method, which is based on absorption of 280 nanometer wavelength radiation by proteins. Proteins have aromatic amino acids, and these aromatic amino acids, mainly tryptophan and tyrosine, and to lesser extent cysteine, they absorb UV radiation at 280 nanometer. And the sensitivity of this method is 0.1 to 100 microgram per ml. And because we know that absorption is directly proportional to concentration of a sample as per the Beer's and Lambert's law we have discussed earlier in some other video. So a sample is taken, protein sample is taken, its absorbance at 280 nanometer is measured, and from that absorbance concentration is calculated. This is very simple method. A small volume of sample is required. In fact, today's micro volume spectrophotometers are available where a small drop in nanoliter or microliter drop of protein is required in order to quantify proteins. But this method is not used if detergents or denaturing agents are there in the protein sample, because they also absorb at 280 nanometer. That's why the calculation is incorrect if you have detergents or denaturing agent in your sample. Moreover, it has very high variability. When you take absorbance at 280 nanometer, it's attributed to presence of aromatic amino acids, and we know that the composition of protein, the presence of a number of aromatic amino acid varies from protein to protein. So in that way, this is not a very accurate method. Nevertheless, it's very quick, and it's very quick to give a rough idea about protein concentration in laboratory use. The second method is biurate method, which is based on reaction of copper ion in alkaline condition with the peptide bonds found in the protein. Because peptide bonds are more common, they are found in all the proteins, so it's more accurate method than UV absorption method. The sensitivity is 20 to 2000 microgram per ml for this method. Sensitivity means the minimum amount of a protein which can be detected by that method is called sensitivity. It may be minimum amount or minimum concentration which can be detected by a method that makes sensitivity of that method. So when a biurate reaction is basically reaction of copper ion in alkaline condition with the peptide bond. So copper ion forms a complex with the peptide bond which absorb at 540 nanometer. So the copper is allowed to react with the protein, and the complex formed is measured at 540 nanometer. This is called biurate reaction. It is very rapid method, and but the problem with this method is that if a sample contain any other nitrogenous compound beside proteins, that also will form complex with the copper ion and will give the color. Same time, if chelators are present which can bind to metal ion, so that also give rise to error in the estimation. Then third method is Lowry method, also called Follen and Lowry method. It also is basically extension of biurate reaction. It occurs in 2 steps. First, alkaline copper react with the peptide bond in the protein, then cuprous ions are formed, and those cuprous ions basically reduce a reagent called Follen CoCal2 reagent, which is reduced and which give a purple blue color that absorb at 750 nanometer. So this also very highly sensitive method. It's very precise also, but this is again not compatible with detergents and reducing agent. If you have any detergent like SDS or any reducing agent means disulfide bond reducing agents like beta-mercaptoethanol or diethyltritol, if those are present in the sample, this method doesn't give very accurate result. Moreover, because it occurs in 2 steps and you need to incubate sample 2 times, we'll see later on in details, so it requires much more time in comparison to other methods to estimate proteins. So roughly 1 hour is required to calculate protein concentration using Lowry method. Then Fourth method is BCA method, bisynchronous acid method. So this is also like Lowry method only, but the second step in Lowry method, where cuprous ion reduce fall in COCl2 reagent, instead of fall in reagent, BCA reagent is used here. So two molecules of BCA react with one molecule of copper ion, and that give purple blue complex which absorb at 562 nanometer. This is also again very sensitive method. The range is 0.5 to 1500 microgram per ml, which can be easily detected by this method. BCA method is also compatible with detergent and denaturing agents, and it has low variability. But again, if reducing agent or metal chelators are present, then also those give error in the estimation of protein using BCA method. The fifth method is a dye-based method. It's also called Bradford method or Comessi Brilliant Blue method, where Comessi Blue is a dye. G250 variant of Comessi Brilliant Blue is used here, which binds to the protein, and mostly it binds to the basic amino acid in the protein and give rise to a blue color complex which absorb radiation at 595 nanometer wavelength. The sensitivity of this method is 20 to 2000 microgram per ml, and this method is compatible with all reducing agent. This is also very rapid method, but if detergents are present, again this method give rise to error in the estimation of protein. The details of each of these 5 methods will be covered in the further videos one by one individually. Then protein estimation, basically the objective here is to estimate total protein in solution and to make a standard curve. Estimation of protein is employed in clinical laboratories. For example, if one need to calculate protein into body fluids or so on, so you need to quantify protein. And especially in research lab, especially in the field of biological sciences, if you are doing some extraction of protein from some source, so you need to know how much protein you have in hand after extraction. So for that also you need to quantify proteins in the sample, and the accurate quantization of protein content is also critical step in protein analysis, or if you are doing characterization of protein, so you need to again quantify protein in the sample. Even if you are doing enzyme activity, as say before going for activity, you should know how much enzyme you have in hand. So in order to do that, you need again to calculate how much protein is present in the sample. So that's why estimation of protein is a very crucial step and very much desired. So proteins are abundant component in all cell. Almost everywhere proteins are present, and except storage protein, they have very important biological functions also in the cell, maintaining their structure and function. And they vary in the molecular mass, ranging from almost 5 kilodalton to more than million daltons. The smallest protein known is insulin, and the biggest protein so far known is a titin, which is a cardiac muscle protein having over 26,000 amino acids in the same protein. So because except UV method, all these method of estimation, they are colorimetric. Colorimetric means they react with some chemical and they produce color. That color is the one which is measured, and the amount of color present in the sample is basically reflect concentration of the protein in the sample, because as per Beer's and Lambert's law, the absorbance of a sample would depend on the concentration of the sample present. So that's why from the absorbance, the actual concentration of the sample is calculated, and these colorimetric assays are done not only for proteins but for even estimation of any other compound which can react with some other compound and give rise to some color. So that's how they can be used in colorimetric assays. So basically we know that visible range of light is from around 380 nanometer to 780 nanometer range. So that's why a colorimeter is required in order to do calculation of absorbance, or if a spectrophotometer is there, that can absorb UV and colorimetric visible range both together. So, but for that we need to make a standard curve. A standard curve means we need to take a known protein and make dilutions of that concentrations. So prepare known sample of analyte covering convenient range of concentrations, then measure the response of the analytical procedure, subtract average response of blank. Same time we use a blank where we don't add protein. So in order to see if our buffer or water or any other component of the mixture is also absorbing at the same wavelength. Then we make a graph, the graph which is generally a straight line, and from that straight line graph we calculate unknown concentration. So let's see how it is generally done. So for preparation of protein standard solution, we make a stock. Bovine serum albumin is a very commonly known protein which is easily available, so that is mostly used to make a standard curve. So for example, we take a stock of say 10 mg per ml. Then from this stock of 10 mg per ml, we make different dilutions of non-concentration. So for example, in one test tube we make 0.5 mg per ml, then another test tube 1 mg per ml concentration, and so on. So at least 5 variables are taken here. Then we take one blank test tube also where protein BSA is not added. All other buffers and water and other components are there, but protein is not there. So that will give some idea if beside protein anything else in the mixture is also absorbing same wavelength. So if it is so, that will create error in your calculation, so it can be subtracted later on from the absorbance of all the variables. So because we have all these concentrations, we add all whatever chemical is required in order to produce color. That again depend on the method used. So after that we take absorbance of each tube. So we have mg per ml concentration of bovine serum albumin from 0.5 to 2.5 mg per ml. Same time we have their corresponding absorbance also, which are taken using a spectrophotometer or a small microvolume spectrophotometer or a colorimeter. Then we also use a blank where BSA is not added, all other components are there. It should have a zero absorbance. Zero absorbance means if it absorb at all, that can be subtracted from these absorbance for different variables. So in order to avoid any error which may be coming because of a background, because of buffers or any other component, then we have one sample which is unknown, which we need to determine concentration of the protein. That also we take some known volume. That also goes through the same process as BSA, and we take absorbance. For example, the absorbance of unknown sample is say 1.1. Now we can make a standard curve of BSA concentration versus absorbance. So that you call a standard curve. So it is a straight line. It should be a straight fit. If it's not a straight line, points are not in the line, it should be made best straight fit. X-axis you have BSA mg per ml concentration. On y-axis you take absorbance. So this absorbance at what wavelength you take, it depends on the method. Out of those 4 methods which are colorimetric we have just talked about, so depending on the method you select a wavelength and you take absorbance accordingly. So this is your standard curve. Now you put value of unknown sample absorbance in the graph in order to find out its concentration. So like we have seen for unknown sample, the absorbance was 1.1 nanometer. 1.1 unit. So in 1.1 you can extrapolate and find out at 1.1 on y-axis it corresponds to a value of around 2.2 mg per ml. So it means your sample has 2.2 mg per ml concentration which you wanted to quantify. So another method to do is, because a straight line it follows y is equal to mx plus c, you can extrapolate this graph up to where the value of x is 0, that is the intercept c. So whatever value of c you get, you can put into the equation, and value of slope, which is m here, m can be calculated using dy upon dx. So it will have a fixed value of m. Y is your absorbance on y-axis. So from y is equal to mx plus c, you can calculate value of x, which is actually the concentration of your sample. So that's how, using a standard graph, you can calculate concentration of proteins or even any other compound which you want to estimate if you have a standard curve for a known sample available with you. And all the colorimetric method of protein estimation, they use a formation of a standard curve, and from the standard curve we deduce the concentration of our unknown protein sample. So to summarize all the 5 methods of protein estimation, in case of UV method, protein is directly the absorbance of protein is directly measured at 280 nanometer to quantify protein. In case of Bradford method, the protein sample is allowed to react with Comestre Brilliant Blue G250 dye, and the complex formed is measured at 595 nanometer. In case of biurate reaction, the protein sample is treated with alkaline copper sulfate, and the protein and cuprous ion complex is measured at 540 nanometer in biurate test. Whereas in case of Folin reaction, this protein cuprous complex which formed after biurate reaction is used to reduce Folin reagent. As a result, the violet color complex formed is measured at 750 nanometer. In case of BCA reaction, the BCA replaces reduction of Folin by protein cuprous complex. So here BCA is get reduced, it form complex with the cuprous ion, and that complex is measured at 562 nanometer, which is base for BCA reaction.